Man, I got to tell you, that was close. I thought we were going to get through a season without hearing anything stupid.
The Indiana Fever didn't just make news. They dropped a bombshell that reverberated across the entire WNBA. In a move that stunned fans and analysts alike, the Fever cut two highly touted rookies before the season had even begun. Brie Hall, a two-time NCAA champion from South Carolina, and Ivon Egim, Gonzaga's all-time leading scorer, were shown the door before they got a real chance to prove themselves on hardwood. And if that wasn't dramatic enough, out from the shadows came Sheryl Swoopes, fired up and locked in on what she saw as a dangerous trend, not just in Indiana, but across the league.
Have a black player that just got cut, and Sheryl Swoopes is not happy about that.
Let's start with the cold facts. Brie Hall barely touched the court in preseason. Limited action against Brazil and no minutes in the opener versus Washington. Then she was gone. And just when fans were still processing that, the Fever announced that Ivon Egim, the heart and soul scorer from Gonzaga, was also being waived. Both rookies came into training camp with strong resumes and high expectations, and yet they didn't survive the preseason culling.
Call me nuts, but unfortunately for the old WNBA fandom and media,
it was ruthless, it was fast, and it left many fans, especially those following women's college hoops, feeling blindsided. Hall and Egim were both players with the kind of raw potential teams typically nurture. Yet in Indiana, potential wasn't enough.
Cunningham talked about that yesterday, saying you can latch on to another team,
Why? The answer lies in a complex tangle of salary cap limitations, contract obligations, and championship urgency. In the WNBA, the salary cap isn't just a number, it's a straitjacket. For the Indiana Fever, that meant making hard choices. The team was already carrying heavy veteran contracts, including a buyout for Katie Lou Samuelson, which left them room for just 11 roster spots. Veterans like Natasha Howard, DeWanna Bonner, Sophie Cunningham, and Kelsey Mitchell had guaranteed deals. That meant if they were cut, the Fever would still be stuck paying them. That left just 3 players on rookie contracts: Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Lexi Hull. Cutting any of them was never an option. Clark and Boston are franchise cornerstones, and Hull is part of the team's chemistry and continuity.
Just because you didn't make a roster doesn't mean you're out of the W truck.
With 10 spots locked, that left just one open roster spot. And fighting for it were Brie Hall, Ivon Egim, and Michaela Timpson. Ultimately, Michaela Timpson claimed that final spot. Drafted 19th overall, she was viewed by many as one of the steals of the draft. She showed flashes of brilliance in camp and preseason, rim running, elite defense, and high-energy hustle. Her skill set fit what Indiana needed in their front court rotation. For Hall and Egim, the harsh reality is that their competition wasn't each other. It was roster math.
To be a committee. Dawn Staley, Jennifer Rizzuti, and all of the...
This wasn't just about talent. It was about fit, future, and finances. And sometimes, dreams get lost in the math. And just when it seemed the dust was settling, Sheryl Swoopes stepped into the arena. The WNBA legend has made headlines before for her sharp critiques of Caitlin Clark and the media circus surrounding her. But this time, Swoopes took aim not just at Clark, but at the Fever as an institution. In her appearance on the Women's Hoop Show, Swoopes leaned to head coach Stephanie White for her preseason decisions. Why, she asked, was Brie Hall barely played? If you're trying to evaluate talent, how can a player earn a spot if she's not given the minutes to prove herself? Her criticism extended beyond coaching tactics. Swoopes all but accused the Fever of favoritism, raising eyebrows with pointed commentary about race, opportunity, and which players get second chances. Maybe, she quipped sarcastically, I should focus on tuning up the other white girls on the Fever now that I've been told to leave Clark alone. That's not shade. That's a spotlight. Swoopes wasn't being subtle. Her comments added racial tension to an already heated debate. Swoopes didn't stop at Hall's dismissal. She questioned the minutes given to Lexi Hull and Sophie Cunningham.
If Caitlin Clark would have played, it would have been the biggest ratings of the Olympic Games last year.
2 white veterans who, in her view, received priority over Hall and Egim without proving themselves in preseason. But here's where the conversation splits. Cunningham, in particular, didn't just get those minutes. She earned them. In the Fever's exhibition game against Brazil, she was a standout. Defense, leadership, energy, everything you want from a veteran. She was the team's vocal anchor, and even on the sidelines, her presence lifted the squad.
Bird's new role is a major change for USA basketball.
Coach Stephanie White didn't hand Cunningham anything. She made a strategic decision to lean on players who understood her system, brought experience, and could serve as mentors to the younger core. When you're building team chemistry from scratch, sometimes stability trumps upside. No matter what the Fever do this season, everything will orbit around Caitlin Clark. That's the double-edged sword of superstardom. She's the face of the franchise, the WNBA's biggest draw, and the reason preseason games are selling out arenas and shattering viewership records. But her star power also makes her a target. Every cut the Fever make, it's now Clark's team decision. Every player who gets minutes, they're seen as Clark's crew. And that pressure extends far beyond the stat sheet. Let's be clear. Caitlin Clark isn't setting rotations or managing the salary cap, but because of who she is and what she represents. Every choice by Indiana's front office gets framed as a referendum on her. Swoopes' insinuations only inflame that narrative.
New Bird is expected to be announced as the managing director for the USA women's national team for the 2028 Olympic cycle.
Whether intentional or not, painting Clark as the center of some inner circle favoritism creates division. It places a young rookie under a spotlight she didn't ask for and ties her name to controversies she didn't create. This isn't Swoopes' first anti-Clark crusade. Last year, she was vocal in criticizing Clark's college scoring records, questioning the legitimacy and the media attention surrounding them. Now, with Clark on a pro team, the critiques continue, but with new targets, her teammates, her coach, and the Fever's front office. What's clear is that Swoopes doesn't like the direction the league is headed. She sees the rise of young stars like Clark as a threat to the old guard, and she's not interested in passing the torch quietly. In a league trying to grow, evolve, and capture the next generation of fans, this kind of resistance isn't just unhelpful, it's counterproductive. While critics like Swoopes throw stones, the Fever are focused on building something sustainable. With Clark, Boston, Mitchell, and Hull forming the team's young core, the franchise is trying to strike a balance between future promise and present competitiveness. That's where players like Cunningham and Bonner come in. They're not just veterans, they're culture setters. They bring toughness, leadership, and a professional mindset. For a team trying to compete in a league with razor-thin margins, that experience matters. The preseason decisions weren't about bias. They were about chemistry, depth, and making sure this team is battle-ready when the regular season tips off. If Caitlin Clark's journey in the WNBA has proven anything, it's that she's not just a player, she's a phenomenon. Her games are events. Her passes trend. Her logo threes go viral. She's boosted attendance, ratings, and merchandise sales to unprecedented heights. And yet, she's being treated by some, not all, as a problem to be solved rather than a gift of the league. That tension is why every game she plays feels like more than basketball. It's a cultural battleground. She inspires young fans, frustrates critics, and forces old narratives to evolve or die. For the Fever, that's both a blessing and a burden. They're not just managing a team, they're managing a movement. As the regular season looms, the Fever's mission is clear. Tune out the noise, build chemistry, and win games. But with figures like Swoopes ready to pounce on every move, it won't be easy. Every rotation, every substitution, every cut will be dissected through a media lens that increasingly revolves around Clark. But here's the truth. The Fever aren't trying to protect Caitlin Clark. They're trying to protect their vision. A vision of a team built on youth grit and the kind of star power that can redefine women's basketball.
I believe it's going to be the LA games. Came out and literally said, I believe it was them that said they wouldn't have left her off the team either.
Hall and Egim may be gone, but their stories aren't over. And Swoopes may keep talking. But the Fever are done listening. They've got games to play, banners to chase, and a lead to elevate. Was Sheryl Swoopes speaking uncomfortable truths? Or is she clinging to a league dynamic that no longer fits the modern WNBA? Either way, the Indiana Fever have made their choice. They're betting on Clark. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more updates.